Congratulations, DJ Awesome on first. If you say so, natural. Be biddied. Oh my goodness, thank you for the 10 biddies as well, Mr. DJ Awesome, and congratulations on hitting first as well, absolutely dominating it. Hello everyone, how are we doing? Almost natural, DJ Awesome, and again, I hope we are enjoying our Memorial Day. For those of you guys here in the States, for those elsewhere, I hope you are enjoying your Moon Day. I have not gotten a haircut since... When did I cut this? On Thursday? I think on Thursday. I did comb it. Yes, we are 10 followers away from 150. Congratulations, DJ Awesome. Hello everyone, I am Chaos Ascends, and I'm gonna tell you, I am very excited. For those of you guys who do not know, we are going to be interviewing the one, the only CraicAttack Central today. So I am very excited to get this going, guys. We've got a little bit of time before we jump on into there, but just kind of wanted to give you guys a quick heads up on that. Craic is an Irish streamer, awesome person, and so you will be able to check him out here in just a little bit. But I will tell you this, guys, Chaos and Raves are a little bit different. Yes, it has been a while since my last stream, okay? I last watched you Thursday, so yeah, I'm correct. Okay, there we go. Yes, I did go ahead, I shaved this off. As you guys can tell, it's kind of my fun thing. I do enjoy it. It's its whole other thing. But yes, hello guys. This is going to be the second episode of Chaos and Raves. Aura Master was kind enough to be our first person. Craic is going to be our second, and it's going to be a blast, yo. And by the way, guys, we already have our person lined up for next week. I guess I could show a little bit on here. I'm talking about my stream. Yep. DJ, you're very close to 150. I see that. We're not too far ourselves. We're about 39 follows away from 1,500. Well, DJ, you got to get some consistency, otherwise that's a little bit rough on your audience. But yes, guys, we are going to be starting here and doing an interview in just about, it looks to me like 10 minutes or so from now. So yes, we will be going in there from that. But how are we all doing, by the way? DJ, I see that you've taken a little bit of a break. Hopefully you've been enjoying that. And Natural, what have we got going on? I'm doing RV there yet with friends this week though, or Peak IDK though. That is fair, my dude. That is fair. Well, I will admit, guys, this is a little bit of a different schedule for me. Normally, I am very much more kind of online and doing my own thing and later at night. But Craic is in the UK, and that's a little loud. Hello, kitty. How are we doing, by the way? Thank you for the walk on. But yes, guys, I am very excited. We are going to be hearing from Craic today. He is about 6 or 7 hours ahead of me, and so because of that, we didn't want to interview Craic at like 2 a.m. We wanted him to be, somewhat conscious for this. Well, what this is, DJ, getting ready for my shit show I have today and tomorrow off. Well, Natural, embrace the shit show, my friend. And yes, so DJ, kind of what the premise of this show is we invite different streamers, game makers and stuff. Hello, by the way, Daryl. Good to see you, my man. We invite different streamers, different people who are inside the space to come and kind of introduce themselves, talk about how they got started. And the whole idea behind this is we want to see how even though we all come from different areas and we all have different walks in life and such, we kind of want to figure out how the hell we all got into the stream game in the first place, or at least got involved in games in general. And so we are working right now on inviting a couple others, but I was about to tell you guys who our guest will be for next week. So we are going to have our first partner dropping in next week. Risen Nephilim will be coming and introducing himself. He has had a hell of a journey, to say the least. So we're very excited for that. But like I was saying, CraicAttack is going to be the one who is on the run today. And so we're going to have a blast. I'd be willing to jump on for an interview sometime. Absolutely, DJ. Like, the whole thing is, by the way, typically how this kind of goes is people will either message me privately or I'll ask them privately and just be like, hey, would you be interested in doing this? Then we just set up a good time. And that's pretty much the how it goes right now. And so we're just getting things kind of going and stuff. I will say we are trying to get people who are streaming a little bit more consistently, DJ, because I do know that you are taking about a month off. And so I'm still trying to figure out the exact requirements, but that's kind of where the premises of all of this is. We're just trying to figure out exactly how we can introduce. What's up, average gamer? And yeah, because the whole thing too is I know that a lot of us are new and stuff. And if you guys remember, Walt was doing a podcast for a while where he was talking about the struggles and such. And I think it's just a good idea to talk to others to see, hey, what can we do to kind of improve? I just had a rough patch in life with some family things, but I'm coming back this week. Well, hell yeah, DJ. Average gamer, it is going good, my dude. We are just getting everything prepared here to go ahead and interview with CraicAttack, which I am very excited for. Crack is hilarious. He's awesome. And by the way, guys, if you are not following him, fix that shit. But yes, guys, I will say I am just excited for this. And DJ, I do hope that the rough patch does get over with. Hopefully everything gets to where it needs to and things are good. Can't sadly stay sadly, but quickly showing some love to fellow Pizza Party members. Well, Shadow Viper, thank you very much for the love, my dude. And hey, we'll catch you on the flip side, and thank you for coming and hanging on out with us. Also, just to let you guys know, we have ads for the lads coming in about 3 minutes, and that's your ads up. Kimmy is in the room as well. Hello, beautiful souls. Go easy on yourself. You are important. You matter. You are loved. You make the world a better place being here. Super proud of how far you've come. Remember to always spread love and positivity wherever you go. You are much stronger than you think. Much to love to you and your beautiful community. Well, thank you, Kimmy, guys. Kimmy always bringing the streamer affirmations for us. And thank you so much, Shadow Viper. The Lore Bard is in the house. Lots and lots of love. Gotta enjoy it. But yes, guys, like I said, we're going to be starting here in just about 7 minutes because I like to give people kind of that time to do and what they... You are so good, Kimmy. I was like, Sierra? I don't know who Sierra is, but I'm going to assume that was the wrong chat. But yes, guys, I have to tell you, for myself, I feel really damn lucky and fortunate. We have grown so much, and we are looking to do a subathon here in the next week and a half or two. So we're going to get that set on up. Hello, Rena. Good to see you as well. Guys, poor Rena, she has been summoning tornadoes. And, well, she lost power for a couple of days. Purple Butt, though, is with us, not only in spirit, but in our hearts. Spit on it first. All right, ladies and gentlemen, but like I said, we are going to be starting here in just a couple of minutes. Just like to take care of a couple of housekeeping duties and such. If this is your first time checking out the show, first off, welcome. Secondly, we will be going and taking a look here, typically during the actual video portion. I don't look at chat because I'm very much focused on the conversation that's going to be taking place between Kraken and myself, and we do take a look at questions at the end. So if you do have questions that you'd like to ask myself or Crack, please save them for the end, just because I will not be looking at chat in the middle. If we do have a mod in the room, please just keep an eye on chat during that portion. Do what you think is necessary, but yes, we do have a couple of people who do sit in the rooms as well who will message me if things are getting a little too bad. So, yes, we will have someone watching even if a mod's not in the room. Other than that, though, guys, I just want to thank you for being here and for really kind of getting into this because the whole premise is that this is something to help you guys. Because we're always trying to figure out how to become better streamers. And so, kind of hearing how each person has struggled or found their way to becoming a streamer, I think is very damn important. And in my humble opinion, I think it's kind of fucking inspiring to see, oh God, this is what they went through, this is what they've gone through, and just to know you're not alone. Because I will say that streaming, a lot of the times, it can feel like no one knows what you're going through. And that's why I do think that the Discord communities are so helpful. Simply because you get the support you need when you're doing stuff. And also on top of it, sometimes you just need a moment to kind of like chill out and get things going. As for the other stuff, I will let you guys know this. I will disable a lot of things during the actual conversation so that any people who decide it's hilarious to interrupt the stream with a jump scare, we do everything we can to disable those during those. So, yes, we are slowly there, but guys, I'll tell you what, let me go ahead very quickly. One of the things that I always do is I make sure to turn off a lot of stuff. So I make sure that the Lumia stream, for example, is closed before we go into the interview. I know we're currently in ads, so I'm mostly talking to myself, but we make sure that Lumia stream is off. I turn off the noises for bits as well. Excuse me. Turn off the points for channel points as well. Need to turn off the noises for blurps. They'll still appear on screen, obviously, but you know, I think that's just one of the things that we have to do. Firebot, we will also make sure that the noises are off. Coffee, lurkbait, and cap. I just think that's the most important thing, and then we obviously need to make sure that our desktop audio is turned on so that we can actually hear Crack. So that's the one thing that I always need to check, make sure that the audience can hear. Because unfortunately last week when we went off with Aura Master, I muted Aura Master on accident. So was not meaning to do that. It happens. It absolutely happens. But yes, guys. And welcome back everyone from the ads. I know they are not the most fun, but you know what? It's what we need to keep the lights on here. So thank you guys very much. That said, let's switch on over to our chaos and raves. And let me just get rid of myself here. And we'll turn on our camera. And along with that is I need to make sure that I am not currently still. Perfect. I think we're good here. Just making sure the camera turns on, actually. All right. Well, you know what? I think Underscore would be a good person. But Rena, we are talking about who our person is going to be for next week. And our next week person will be Risen Nephilim. So he's going to be our first partner who is going to get involved in this. But we'll talk more about that on the next one. But let me do this really fast. Because my camera is debating on whether it wants to go ahead and work. So let me just deactivate you. Technical difficulties, guys. If you're not having technical difficulties, are you even streaming? All right. There we go. Yeah, Risen is absolutely a massive G. Guys, I do apologize. I'm going to look away from chat and kind of get a little bit focused here on Crack. Crack, can you hear me? I can. Now the question is, can chat, before I look away, can you guys hear Crack as well? Because last week I screwed up on that. So just want to make sure that you guys say something again, Crack. Just say one more thing, Crack.
Yep.
I want to make sure they can hear you.
Gia Gwitch, everyone. How are things?
There we go, guys. Can you still hear Crack? Just making sure
Yeah, no,
on
you
that.
can't. Yep, you can hear
Okay,
me now.
now they can hear him. Perfect. All right then, Crack, let's go ahead and start off with this. Could you just kind of introduce yourself? Just kind of do a little raid video introduction just for those who might not know you.
Well, salutations, everybody. My name is CraicAttack, and I suppose I should say to each and every one of you, what's a crack-a-lack? And some people, like Arena there, have the tendency to end up calling me Craig, and there's nothing wrong with that. People can be wrong. But I am an Irish streamer of a variety sense. Started doing Football Manager 24 back when that came out. Moved over to 26 on its horrendous launch and became far more variety after that one. Annoyed enough streamers enough that they convinced me to apply for some streaming teams, and now have become a tiny bit of a comedy say uh, streaming team whore, and have joined about 6 or 7 of them. So trying the best
So
to
you know
continue
I
the
gotta
crack.
ask, what stream teams are you part of, Crack?
I'm part of OTS, which is the fantastic Josh's team. I'm part of the Shark Tank, which obviously is Tara Shark's team. Club 98, which, it's not as if I would end up doing any promotion for that whatsoever. Um, Part of Pizza Party, part of VIG, and the community ship as well, the CC captains. So yeah, keep I keep myself open. I'm quite easy.
Well, thank you as always for being easy, my friend. But Crack, you know I gotta ask the first question, which is, how did you come up with Crack Attack Central as your name? Where does that stem from?
Well, crack colloquially in Ireland ends up meaning to have a good time. So, like, genuinely speaking, if you meet an Irish person at some point in time, you'll hear the statement, "What's the crack? Is the crack 90?" All of those type of elements there. So, crack genuinely ends up meaning to have a good time. I've always been of the viewpoint that I'd be playing games anyway, so I might as well attack them with my regular level of complete obnoxiousness. So I might as well end up attacking things. And hey, we might as well create a central hub for it. So we'll create the attack centrally, which was basically the viewpoint. I knew that you could make a number of puns with that too, considering the word crack also means the crack of a wall, the crack of your arse, and the crack for your nose. So, you, you know, you can be high and
Regardless,
tight.
it's
Yep.
gonna be a good time, is what I'm
Mm-hmm.
hearing.
Yep. 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 So yeah, you can play with that quite a good bit. So that, and I knew it could be brought down to CAC if Crack Attack Central was ever a wee bit too low. So I knew there was always the ability to put it down to lower iconography if we needed to.
Absolutely. So I assume you're gonna keep that name, even if you hit partner today. Would you keep the name? Would you go something different?
I mean, probably the difference that I'd end up making would be on most of my social media outcomes to change it to CAC, just to make it easier for people, considering longer names are often a problem, or just change it to Crack Attack, maybe keep the actual central bit of it in it there. But in terms of name dynamics, and I searched up after I ended up doing it, statistically, it's worse for you to have anything over 12 characters.
Yes, yes. You need something very easy to be able to be read and all
Yep.
that.
Like,
That said, you are looking. Oh, please go ahead.
ironically, the best number is the number that Twitch don't allow you to use. It's 3.
You
Uh,
can't have tree, guys. You
yes, I
can't
hate.
have
I knew
tree.
you were going to do it the second that I ended up doing it. Of course, it had to be the actual bloody number.
So I notice you're looking very dapper here today. Is this how you normally stream, or is this something just for today?
Shoots and roundabouts, my friend. It depends on how lazy I am being. Typically, what ends up happening with me is I work um, IRL until evening time period, and then I head straight to the Gaim, the gym. For any of you who don't know, cracks stupid terms of phrases. And depending on how long that session ends up going, or how unbelievably brutally lazy I'm being, I will just walk straight in with the rash guard on and stream from there. But I don't have a problem streaming like this. Um, I'll do anything. Like, I have a costume over there that has been worn at one particular point in time. So
So
It's
you
all
know
for
I
the
have
fun.
to ask, when are we going to be streaming in the jockstrap? Like we know it's coming.
Yes, I recognize that, and the big problem with it is that there are terms and services for Twitch, and I think that I have gotten one or two notifications to button up that I have put too much stress on the server's capabilities. So I have to be careful. I have to make sure that I don't accidentally crash the system for ye.
See, I'm just waiting because I'm sure Twitch is going to be like, I'm sorry, that's too many clothes. You got to take them off, crack.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do those green bikini streams that came around Twitch in 2024.
And I, for one, cannot wait to play. He was an itty bitty teeny weeny
Ah,
polka dot bikini.
mm,
Oh man. So okay, I have to ask, how has the journey been for you so far?
interesting, if I'm honest. I had a remarkably lucky start in streaming in that on my second ever stream I got rated by a particularly big streamer, and that stream had 90 plus people come into me on my second ever stream, and some of the people decided to shtick. So I have had the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful issue of never having a dead chat.
Well, that is nice.
Yeah.
So I have to ask because like getting 90 people on your second stream, I know I wouldn't have been ready for that. How did you react to that?
Well, I'm a colossive wrestling nut, so I always follow the immortal words of a slightly suspect man, the immortal words of Jerry the King Lawler. If you have diarrhea of the mouth and constipation of the brain, no one will notice anything. So
If you can't wow them, if you can't bullshit them with wow them with the
pretty
bullshit.
much, yes, exactly, exactly. So it's just completely rant off my complete and utter horse manure. And as many people can contest, if you mention anything that I have any knowledge in at all, I'm a complete and utter nerd in every aspect of it. I must have blown Aura's ears off for about fuck it 40 minutes when we were playing Marvel Rivals the last day, ranting, absolutely ranting about their actual power structures of where they should be in the goddamn game. So I'm able to talk, which is the good thing about it.
I don't feel like you have very strong opinions whatsoever, Crack. None at
Oh no,
all.
not at all, not at all, not at all. Kaneki Ken is definitely balanced in Dead by Daylight.
Oh, don't even get me fucking started on that. So I have to like it seems like things have been going really well. They kicked off at the beginning high. How has the journey been for you on Twitch overall then?
So interesting. When you start off and on your second stream you just bounce and you hit 50 followers, you think the growth is going to go really, really quickly. Because I ended up getting, I think it was between 35 and 50 followers in my first month of streaming.
Ooh,
Um,
that's huge.
Yeah, and then that stagnated really, really quickly for two reasons. I was averaging getting 20 followers a week, and then personal situations ended up happening to me that I traveled to Thailand. And over there, my consistency of doing 5 days a week stopped down and it killed the absolute momentum out of it, which was sound, but it meant that I was afraid that I was going to lose all of the people that were coming there. And I did lose some of them, and I ended up coming back into it in the whole lot. But you have to come to terms with the fact of you can't control the people that end up coming in. You just have to be there for the people that do. And if someone ends up coming back in, make it feel like you're meeting an old school friend and go down that way. So I kept at that ground of things. And then when you hit your shooting balances, I spent three months with not a single additional follower. I was stuck at
Oh wow.
243 for 3 months. Um, then I joined Pizza Party and I ended up getting some progression again after that. And then interacting with the likes of ye has given me the little bit of bump afterwards. So it's one of those cases of watching that and then watching people that have come in as well. You have to keep in mind that you can't be angry for other people's success, especially when they do it faster than what you did. So you have to keep that in mind as well.
Because I do imagine the envy does have to be strong and such.
Oh yeah, of course, but like it's one of those cases of look at the envy in what you can do to improve, not of spite of what they have done to get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with envy because envy leads to ambition. It's when you end up causing envy to lead to hurt pride that is the issue. There's a reason why there are seven deadly sins.
So you actually see envy as more of a motivator then.
Yes, I am of the opinion, and I've always been of the opinion that the seven deadly sins should always be used as a motivator, not as as a negative. I've always been of the opinion that the deadly sins are deadly for your positive, not for your negative.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So let me ask this then. Do you see failure then as a good thing or a bad thing?
yeah, you can't grow if you don't fail.
So failure is actually needed for you then.
Yes, obviously you don't want it. You don't go out with the goal of failure, but if you fail, it's an opportunity for you to end up coming about it. And the immortal words of the Prince of All Saiyans, I will end up being knocked down and come back twice as strong. For you shall die, Q. Sorry, it's key.
So let me rewind for a second because I'm loving where this is going. But let me go back to when you first started because second stream, obviously things took off and then we kind of hit a little bit of a stall point. But that first time you streamed, what kind of got you going in the first place on that?
So I have always wanted to do streaming. I've always wanted to do it. I've been wanting to do it since 2018. I always thought I had a bit of a bubbly personality. The only issue I thought I might have is I don't think I had a deep enough voice for it. I'm not your naturally, and that's one of the things that an awful lot of people end up thinking that maybe I don't have the proper diction, the proper bass in my voice to give it that element of sexiness, that element of attractability. You know, you don't have that within you, and I couldn't do that for 4 hours. That's one of the reasons why that didn't happen. But I was always worried about that type of stuff. And on top of that, I wanted all of the bits first. I wanted the layout. I wanted the emotes. I wanted the raid effects and the movie for when anyone ended up coming in. Crap that even a year and a half in, I haven't gotten, you know? I wanted all of that done there. So I was in a state of perfection paralysis. I wasn't going to do it until I got near perfection. Then one day, a person that has been on the stream with me before, Debounce, a person that I know locally here, ended up going live playing an early access game called Darker Darker. And on that particular stream, he had gotten the largest numbers he had ever gotten. He had 7 viewers in there. And his seven, he needed to run away for a personal issue, but the 7 viewers were having the crack with me. I was enjoying the game. So he turned around and he says, you know what, screw it. Have the little system you have there set up. I had done the graphics in the base design of what my stream is like. You've seen it there with the overlay and all that type of crap, but Dark and Darker
Yes,
written on
yes.
it. I didn't have a live chat working, but elements such as that and went live with those 7 viewers. So even my first stream, it wasn't a case of dead air. It was I ended up literally nicking another person's viewers and going live on that one. They seemed to enjoy the cracks, so I had set up the football manager. Just I knew I was good at football manager. I knew I could rant galore on every single football team in the Premier League. So ended up doing that. Picked up on the football manager stream always wanted to do a semi rags to riches save on that. Started doing it, and then went live. And then within the first 15 minutes, got raided by the 90 people.
Lord above. So you really you really didn't have it planned out. You were just like, fuck it, I'll do it live,
Yep,
right?
yep. Nicked. The only thing I ended up doing was during that first stream was online looking for sound effects to nick my follow button. If you end up ever coming to me when it's following, it's a random chibi person punching a boxing bag, and literally I just randomly ended up nicking that. I won't even lie. I have no idea what it's from. I have no idea where it came from. I thought it looked cute. I didn't have mine set up, but I knew I needed at least a follow situation because who the hell's going to sub to me? Was my viewpoint. You don't need to worry about that one until later on. And haven't worried about it for a year and a half.
Oh Lord.
Speaking
Give
of
me a
which,
second.
everyone should test
I
and
just
find
got
out
a
what
sub.
chaos is.
Thank you, Jake and God. I thought I had that stuff turned off. I don't know how the noises are still going off. Thank you, Jake.
Falling from the sky to
So
the joys of it.
Oh Lord, the streaming is always a blast. But let me get back to this. So you started out with no plan,
Mhm.
said "fuck it, I'm gonna do it live." Did that strategy stay for you the entire time, or did that end up switching up as well for you? Like, do you actually plan stuff now, or do you still just like "fuck it, I'm live now"?
Kinda. A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I still don't have a dedicated stream schedule. It's one of those cases of time if I have people told that I'm going live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Currently, I was doing boxing, which meant it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I've told people that I'm going live. I don't tell people what the game was because it'll depend on the day that I'm going up there. Unless I know that I'm in the mood to play Shin Megami Tensei 5 on Wednesday, you'll know I'm playing Shin Megami Tensei 5 on Wednesday. If I've organized to do Dead by Daylight with you, you'll know that I'm doing that. But otherwise, I'll pull the piss, shoot the gear, and what I'm in the mood for, we'll go for. Because at the end of the day, the absolute number one thing that when it comes down to streaming is you have to enjoy it.
Yes.
Yes.
And so I do hope you're enjoying it then.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But I'm an egotist. I'm happy to end up ranting about myself.
See, you got three. I got three categories that I like myself, Crack. Me, myself, and I.
Mhm. Beautiful.
Oh,
Even if all
so
three of them is an
I
asshole.
do. Oh, all three of them, my friend.
Fuck, I said the word
But
again.
so, what's been the biggest struggle for you personally as a
The
streamer
viewer number.
outside of the
Well,
schedule
the viewer number.
that's under your control?
Oh, but that number. Genuinely speaking,
Yeah.
the first thing you should end up doing is knocking off that number and just going as if there's no one in the chat. Because that viewer number, you'll see it rise up there. One particular point in time when I was early streaming there, that number ended up rising up to 9 naturally. No raids, nothing like that. Rose up to 9, and I only had the one individual person talking to me, and I'm thinking to myself, am I being rude to the other 8 people that are there because I know that they're there and they're not interacting? Do I need to change stuff to suck them into the chat and get them chatting? And then what's worse is because specifically on Twitch, that number is so inconsistent in the fact that if they're lurking for too long, it doesn't end up counting it. It causes you to have spontaneity issues in that you're thinking that there's more people there or less people there or less interactivity or you're doing something wrong. So specifically that number is the biggest challenge for me. Ignore it completely.
So, do you focus on their? Do you imagine that there's no one in the room? Do you imagine that there's 1,000 people?
I imagine that
Like, what's your strategy
I'm
with
going to
that?
be playing this game, and every single thing that I would be saying in the back of my mind that I wouldn't say out loud, I just say out loud. And that's
So
the way
you
I
get
look.
rid of that filter altogether.
You've been in my streams, right?
Yes, but we're introducing people to you here.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, not completely. Obviously, I'm far much of a bigger dick in real life, but at the same point in time, yeah, you get rid of it for the most part. You just enjoy things that end up coming in, have the conversations with the people that are there. Never feel bad if they don't end up talking. Never feel bad if it ends up going quiet, and just make sure there isn't dead air. To the best of your natural ability, make sure there isn't dead air. Talk about something random shit. Talk about the gym. Talk about the weather. Talk about the day. Talk about an ice cream that you ended up having. Just make sure that there isn't dead air, and be talking about something, you know, or even if it's just about the game. Funnily enough, but it is one of those cases if you just can't have dead air. Yeah.
So you don't like to go ahead and have that silence. You just like to keep something going at all times.
Yes. 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 Always play with a wee bit of music in the background and the whole lot as well in order to keep a bit of a beat to it, and obviously do the audio transferring on it so that the VODs are a complete mess afterwards when you're not hearing any music. That's a way to know whether or not you're entertaining as a person, is listening to a video that has no music in the background of it and listening as to whether or not you're becoming ranty or ravey or something like that. It is, I don't do it enough, but it is something everyone should do. You should at least in one of your streams go back and rewatch them and see if you're enjoying it.
Did you? So do you review your videos often, or is this
Nope.
something that happens once a month? Or
Nope, I don't. The only time I review my streams is when I try making clips for other stuff. And legitimately, it's not a situation of me not wanting to do it. Currently, it's a situation of me not having the time.
That's
Genuinely, I
fair.
don't have the
That is
time because I'm
fair.
trying to do an awful lot of personal growth and stuff like that, spending the hour in the gym and at least an hour getting the walking out, ensuring to get some interactivity in my personal life and stuff like that. The really, really dangerous thing about streaming is when you start getting into streaming and you start interacting with people and you start having the enjoyable situation of people, it becomes very, very engrossing, insanely addictive. So you have to be extremely careful, not on the people, on you on that addiction.
1,000%. I mean, so besides streaming and working out, what else are you doing to kind of make sure that this is not your addiction to be right in front of cams?
There is the unfortunate problem when it comes down to me. My hobbies are anime, wrestling, movies, and games. So I'm always in front of the camera. So like I'm not part of a club or anything like that. Unfortunately, I just don't have the physical fitness in order to do it. That's why I was doing the 2 days a week of boxing to increase up that type of stuff. So trying to do extra elements like that. I'm one of those type of people that was always sat in front of a computer. Hence the reason why, what, screw it, I'm gonna be doing this anyway. Might as well be doing it while streaming.
Absolutely. Now, let me rewind for a second
Hmm.
because you were talking about how influential those 90 people coming on your second stream was. Can you share a specific moment that you think was the turning point for you really on your streaming journey so far? I can see the cogs turning hard, guys.
Well, there's two. Because obviously those 90s, that 90 viewers ended up causing a progression for me. We ended up going up. And then I ended up stalling for a bit at the 230 mark, where I thought that maybe I Football Manager 26 wasn't as good as 24. I didn't understand the game as much as the previous one that ended up coming down to it. You could always pivot back to that game and see if things would end up going down. I had started doing a wee bit more uh, variety and stuff like that, and the numbers weren't increasing. In fact, they were reversing in the way down there. But I had I had kept sure to raid multiple other people, and I ended up raiding a channel by the name of Simus TV, and he was doing stuff that was called Stellaris, and they had a bit of community that was going into that. And seeing all of them going around it meant that I was able to do some more collabs, and that ended up getting a wee bit more interactivity that way as well. But it wasn't really until I ended up getting in touch with Pizza Party and going in that way, and then the Club 98 crew, that it ended up coming down that way. There wasn't any one particular person in the Club 98 crew that gave me the boost that ended up coming that way, but that ended up leading to being able to explode and talk to more people like yourself, like Xenon, like Die, like Panda, and just interacting and
Yeah.
enjoying more of those type of stuff, and you know, just trying to be more friendly and being more knowing that going into streams I'm okay with being me, because I'm quite a loud person. Even the entry point that I do in all of my streams, salutations, senior or senorita, XYZ, what's a crack a lacking, is a wee bit, bumpy, actually tagging the person so to see my message because I'm important, screw you.
Yeah.
you know so just trying to get a wee bit more time to interact with people is probably the turning point.
I mean, it sounds like the Discord community was really kind of got you to get out there and kind of talk to to
Mm.
talk to others and such.
Yes, but there was one fault that ended up coming with it as well that I've noticed that I need to end up turning up a bit, especially because the way that it ends up using its system in Pizza Party, the way its system ends up working down is obviously it wants you to raid Pizza Party members. which is fine and beautiful, but it means you're rating only that exclusive kind of viewpoint as well. So you're
Yeah.
not meeting the random people that you end up going down that way. Like I know some American streamers that I ended up rating and the whole lot that have nothing to do with any of that that I still have interactions with today, because I ended up going 3 hours too long and ended up raiding them and ended up going in that way. One of the people that comes into my chat the whole time, Senior Benakage, is one of the ones that ended up happening that way, you know? And I think if you're in those type of things, you have to remember to do the generalized random raids as well, that to people that aren't associated to any of the groups, just to keep widening the net.
Okay. So really inviting more people and sharing the love and hopefully getting others to come and find out.
Yes, yes.
Excuse me. So let me ask this then, because you're saying you're always in front of your computer and such, whether that's for anime or for movies and such. Do you do a lot of off-screen gaming?
Uh, Less than I used to, especially considering the games I want to play, I just stream. But it does happen. I have a stream deck, which makes it a hell of a lot easier. I also, unfortunately, am a bit of an insomniac, so there'll be times there where I'm just laid in bed with that goddamn thing, and I'll end up playing something. Like I've bought Slay the Spire 2. I've put maybe 12 hours into that game, and I've only streamed it once. So like, there's that type
Oh
of thing.
wow.
I've done the same with Mewgenics, because on the stream deck you can cheat and it makes that game more enjoyable. But yeah, I do still game off stream, just not as much as I used to. Because if I can do it,
Do you
why not?
feel do you feel there's a balance there, or does it feel a little bit like do you feel the need to go live simply because you're like, I could be going live, I could be doing
Yeah.
something with this, or do you feel like I'm good keeping this to myself?
Oh, I don't really care either way. It's one of those situations of, if I'm sat in front of the computer, I might as well be talking to the people that are there. I'm enjoying the game anyway. I make sure that the chat doesn't bother me, and the fact of that they don't dissuade me from enjoying the game, because you do have to put those barriers up in place as well. Like, thankfully, I have never had to be too trigger happy with it. But the other thing you have to make sure to keep in mind, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with hitting the timeout or ban button, because you're the judge, jury, and executioner, and you have to remember the hammer of the long dick of the law is long, you know.
So you're a big fan of curating exactly what you want on your
Yeah,
stream.
like it's one of those cases of, um, as it says, the crack. You were there to have the shits. We're there to pull the piss out of each other. We're there to end up doing that. It's a common thing. I pull the piss out of people that are Tottenham supporters and stuff like that. And there's only one word in the English language that offends me, and you're not going to bloody use it. So long as I know that you're being playful, even if you're being the slightly vindictive side of playful, so long as I can tell that you're being that way, then it's sound. But if I tell you to shut up and you don't shut up, you will shut up.
Understandable.
You know, it's one of those cases
So
of, I'm nice until I'm not nice, at which point, I have no problem being a sadist.
so I was actually I want to come back to this because stream etiquette is one of those things that we always talk about here. So how did you kind of learn your stream etiquette? And was there a time that you fucked up your stream etiquette?
Once, yeah. In general, because of how bubbly I am, and because of I don't hold anything back, and with all of the streamers that end up coming in, or the people viewers that end up coming in, it's kind of hard for someone to be more sarcastic or more cheeky than I am, because I'm that type of person anyway, you know. Uh, and if you give me cheek, I'll match your energy of cheek. So there have been a couple of times where I've had to tell people to calm your tits down, but you do it in a jovial type of way of, Harry, now you're pulling the piss a bit too much there. You have to rein her in, you know. You don't make me have to take out the cat of nine tails, or that type of thing, or just don't make me bring out a obnoxious crack and start telling you off. Shite like that. Make an enjoyable situation of having to bull the crap out of someone. Try and do it that type of way. But in general, I've only had one instance of where I probably jumped the gun and banned someone a wee bit too prematurely. But one of the things I don't particularly like is no matter what the reason is, if you manage to put yourself in a bad situation and message me angrily intoxicated, that's kind of a no-no. So I banned someone that I probably should have given a second chance to before I just banned them because they'd done that. And they haven't come back into the stream since, but I have no ill will towards them. I've unbanned them since if they wanted to come back around in the whole lot. But it's one of those cases of you need to know your worth and your honor as well and what you're willing to take. Because the last thing you need, the one thing you must remember is you're doing it for fun, and you're not even if you get big, you're not successful till you hit 1,000, and there's only 0.1% of people on the streaming platform at all that are over 1,000. So you're not getting
A
their
thousand viewers, a
viewers. Yeah,
thousand followers.
viewers.
Yeah.
1,000 viewers on its own is enough to make it not a good job, but a feasible job. You know. Because after once you get to 1,000
Um,
viewers, you'll end up getting your own. You can get sponsorships. You can end up doing that type of stuff. It makes it a hell of a lot more easy for you to do that type of stuff. You know.
so is 1,000 where you would feel like this is success, or is there a different number for you, or are
Oh,
you
I
not
don't have
giving
a
a
number
fuck
for
about the
success. I'm
numbers?
successful as I am now. So long as I'm enjoying it
There
and
you
people are
go.
enjoying it, I'm successful now. I do have a bit of imposter syndrome in that type of way of if I have a stream there and I think the vibes are a bit off in the chat or my energy is a bit lowered down, I might want a bit of affirmation from someone, turn around and says, "What did you think of the stream?" and shit like that, which is something you shouldn't really do either, but it's always nice every now and again to have someone turn around and give you that,
Did I
reaffirmation that
do
all is
well?
going
Did I
well.
fuck
Yeah.
up? Sorry, daddy. Sorry,
Yes.
daddy.
This was a wee bit too harsh in the way that I was this time, that type of elements.
Oh, yeah. Now, let me back up here a little bit because I like how we were talking about people who might be breaking etiquette. Obviously, you're going to be banning a lot, but how would you handle stream snipers, trolls, negative comments, all that?
Oh, towards me, I don't give a crap. Again, so long as your trolling is within playful banter, I don't particularly care. As for stream sniping, I am semi uh lucky in that I don't play games where it matters. I'm not in. I don't currently play big FPS games where I'll get screwed if I'm in that. I don't. I've done it, but I don't really play Fortnite as my main one. An awful lot of the games I play are single player downloadable games where that element doesn't end up coming into it. But like in that particular case, if you know that they're doing it, you just report them in the actual game itself because you can't be at that shite. That's just general internet etiquette and the whole lot as well,
Yeah.
but you can't let it annoy you either. If anything, you can take it as a badge of honor that someone is so pissy and so, annoyed at the fact that they decided to pick out you, that A, you're either doing a good job, or B, you're doing such a horrific job that they want to do it out of spite. Either way, that person is going out of their way for you. So, you know,
So hate watching is still watching.
it's still watching. Yeah. Yeah. That's my viewpoint. Yeah.
Oh. How would you handle pressure from viewers to play a game that you might not particularly feel you want to play or that you might be burnt out on?
Um, I mean, it comes down to me with the FM situation that was happening there. But as an awful lot of people turn around and say, oftentimes when it comes down to streaming, they're not there for the game, they're there for the person. Unless you're top 1% in a game, oftentimes they're not there for the actual game itself. It helps if it ends up coming down that way, but the most important thing is always to make sure you're having fun because that energy comes across on you. So, like, keep it in mind because you might end up losing your community a wee bit about it, but you'll find new people that enjoy it either way. So, like, I think it's better. It's not better for growth, but it's better for yourself. It's better for your own mindset to do what you want and screw what other people end up thinking.
So you're very much, I want to have a good time as the streamer. And hey, everyone else, I hope you can join. If not, say la vie.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And I think that's the way you should end up going with it. 90% of all of this is luck anyway, you know. put in the
Oh
effort
yeah.
to make it good. Obviously, you have to do the extra crap like the short form content and all that type of stuff. But like, if you're having fun, they'll have fun, or at least you'd like to think
Oh,
so.
actually, can. So you're talking about all the short form content, the stuff you have to do offline. And, I call that the administrative work, editing, scheduling, branding, and such. How do you balance between doing that and your streaming stuff?
Currently, not very well. I as I was saying to you, unfortunately, I'm not great at it at the moment. I need to do an awful lot more of that type of stuff. I need to end up trying to get more time to actually put aside and end up going for the stripping down for clips. Like, uh, if you want to take this seriously as if for actual growth and the whole lot, if a stream doesn't end up, I think the stat if a stream doesn't end up having at least 3 short form clips out of it by the end of the stream, you've failed in that stream. But I don't care. I genuinely don't care. I'm not doing it to create clips. If moments happen where clips end up coming down, I'll form them into stuff. I'll post them on TikTok and I'll post them on YouTube. That's not where I'm getting my growth at the moment. All of my growth, 99% of my growth has come exclusively from Twitch, which is just interacting with people, enjoying the crack, seeing if people end up coming through, raids that have come through and people that have managed to stay. Like, I'm not currently at the process to become that type of big wig at the moment. There's an awful lot more stuff I could do to improve upon that elements, but you do what you can for you at the time.
Absolutely. What do you wish you had known about streaming gear or software before you started versus what you know now?
I kind of wish I had more. Even now, I kind of wish I had more experience with audio and had a bit more experience with DaVinci Pro and stuff like that. I'm still atrocious when it comes down to editing, and I know absolutely nothing about audio management. If something goes wrong with audio, or if I try to end up peaking stuff or filtration elements, I know nothing about it. So go on to something like uh, one of those teaching sites and end up learning a wee bit more about them and that type of stuff. Go on to YouTube and actually watch more of those videos. But that's the perfectionist problem that stopped me from streaming to begin with. Ultimately, you'll find the elements that end up improving for you. I could recommend something to you that you don't use that ends up working for someone else. It doesn't really matter. There's a million and one pieces of software that does whatever you do. Just go with what you enjoy using and continue on that way, you know, and worry about the rest of it later on. Worry about optimization when you get to a point where optimization matters, you know, when you have the time, when you have the capability, and you'll find more than enough people willing to end up giving you support as well, which is the other thing about it. Don't be afraid to ask in chats and stuff like that. Maybe not in the actual stream chat, but for 90% of streamers, you'll end up going into a Discord, and in their Discord, they'll have a section to talk about that type of crap, or they can mention it themselves. Follow down that type of way and ask them that way if you need to. But in general, just consistently be working at it and go that way.
Absolutely. So it does sound like to me that you're kind of a one-man wrecking crew here, doing everything and anything, right?
Much, yeah, yeah, yeah. Trying to anyway. Uh, yeah, that type of way. Yeah, yeah. I was going to say something
Do
there, but
you
I
wish you
completely
had
lost my
people,
train of thought.
or
Kinda, kinda. It would
derailed?
be a lot. Just in general, it'd be nicer if I had people in my personal life that I could do more kind of co-ed streaming, like not collabs. Collabs are nice all the same, but that means you're relying on people you don't really know. It would be nice to have more people in my actual life that I could end up including into that for fun aspects of it. But I was never really a community streamer even before this. I was always on my own playing stuff. So that's just a kind of in a different world, in an alternate universe, you have a streaming house or that type of shit, that'd be the only thing that would be an incredible improvement. But other than that, no, not really. I'm happy with the way that it's going on.
So if you could kind of like backing up there, you were saying that you would want more IRL type people
Yeah, to
to
interact
kind
with
of
you, because
collab
it's nice.
with?
It's nice to have actual friends that know you. Like, you get to know people, and within time, they'll know your personality traits, what you're actually into, little inside jokes that the two of you can put each other that'll end up cracking the stream as well. If you know people long enough, it ends up going down that way. It's nice to be able to stream with people that you've known for 5 6 years, where there's little extra bits that with time people end up knowing. But you get that with your viewers as well. There'll be viewers that you end up having there for a year's time that know elements that have happened in streams that have never come down as well, and that makes everything better as well. It's just in an ideal world you would have that connection to come in as well.
See, I definitely feel like my chat at least, I feel like they create a lot more stuff in my in traditions and such than I do myself.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you don't go out of your way to make traditions. It's just you manage to end up doing it by sheer coincidence, and they just pull the piss out of you for doing it. Type situation, I'm
Exactly.
sure.
So, do you use AI for anything, or kind of what's your take on AI with streamers using it?
I have been of the opinion for years that AI is not the enemy; it's a tool. It's the same way as the a tractor was a tool for farming. Um, you're going to make things more efficient. People are going to end up being down there. There's an old phrase that's typically end up using of you evolve or you die. It's unfortunate that AI is typically being used in robbing people's art and stuff like that, but I don't mean to lie to you. People were going to rob your art anyway. I can guarantee you, if you went to someone and asked them to make something, they'll go online, look at someone's art, use that as a basis, and rob it to do it. So there's
Or
nothing,
even just straight up just copy
yeah,
it?
like there's nothing unique in the world anymore. Everyone has figured out everything of everything. It's just a rendition of another rendition of another rendition of another rendition. It's just AI is able to do it faster and quicker. If AI benefits you to start off what you're at there, use it as a placeholder. But it would be nice to support people when you're able to. Most people will end up starting this not financially able to end up doing it. So having placeholders in place, or a chat GPT bloody icon that ends up come up and helping you that way. There's nothing particularly wrong with it, just so long as you're not putting it off as your own crap, and you're honest about it, and you know the way that it's being used and the whole lot. I think it's fine. I use
So you're fine with AI as long as you just outright say, "Hey guys, this is AI," or "I got this idea." Like, as long as you're giving it credit, you're fine with it.
Yeah, yeah. Like, one of the things I end up using on my stream there to shout out a particular AI bot that I don't pay for, but I've been tempted to actually give the 9.99, is Frosty Tools, because it ends up giving a nice, stupid, simple little pop up of the streamer that ends up rating you, or when you end up giving a shout out, gives them elements there. And for me, that type of AI is sound, because it doesn't mean I have to go hunting to try and get you to describe your stream. It gives a little showcase of that way, and that spreads a little bit of love to the people that are around. So long as you're using AI with the intent to benefit, not with the intent to harm, that's where it's good. You know,
Okay.
that's my viewpoint on it.
That's fair. I mean, I was just trying to think if there's anything in particular with AI that might not have anything to do with intent, but just does.
In what way?
So like for example, you might have an AI that you wanted to go ahead and make these clips that specifically show, hey, this is my clips and stuff, and instead of doing that, it just ends up trashing others or brings out shows it highlights the worst moments in chat instead of the best moments, if that makes sense.
Oh, then in that case, I
When
don't.
someone's crashing out.
Yeah, no. In that case, I dump it and I end up getting rid of it. Nah, that's just making it awkward for everyone that's there. Like, there's nothing wrong with poking the bear, so long as you know the way that you're doing it. Again, it's all about context. It's all about context. As I turned around to someone and said, in Ireland, the term rat bastard ends up getting used a lot.
Yeah.
If you're in any way religious, that word is as bad as me calling you the C word. If we were in Australia, you're my brother if I call you the C word. Context matters in every situation that ends up coming down. I'm always of that viewpoint. It's also why I'm not as big of a problem with. I obviously can't say it, and obviously would never say it, but it's the reason why I don't have problems with people saying like the N word when the context is being done correctly in that viewpoint as well. I have that same viewpoint with AI. So long as the intent wasn't to harm or offend, then that's fine. You know, it's all about
Okay.
context. Everything is about context.
So AI to you is just a tool, whether you use it for good or bad and stuff, that's
Yeah,
going to obviously change how you receive it.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, it is just a tool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're big enough ass to use it badly, then you don't deserve to be supported. That's up to you to make sure that you're not using it in a bad way.
Absolutely. Um, well, you were talking earlier how you were using TikTok and YouTube. Uh, have you seen much good from it, or how much do you really put into it? And have you seen a return from that?
I haven't yet. I need to do more stuff with it. When it comes down to YouTube, I want to do YouTube videos, like actual production videos, stuff like that as well. I am currently not good enough with the editing, which is one of the reasons why I'm saying I'd love to end up having more knowledge of that type of stuff. Again, perfection bias coming into play. Obviously, doing it is a way of learning it, but I haven't had the time and I haven't had the inclination to be able to end up doing it that way. My max viewed clip on YouTube is 700 viewers, which is nice. It's something sound, but it hasn't actually given me any return. I'm currently multi-streaming on Kick, YouTube, and TikTok, and I haven't had any return on them. But then the little eccentricities that all of them end up having that you need to be aware of doesn't help on that situation as well. Like if Twitch has a phenomenal clip editor system, as you probably know yourself, to anyone that's going into streaming, you should use that system up to the wazoo. It's fantastic for editing clips. It's fantastic for bringing them down. You can end up making it into your vertical format on the whole lot. However, on YouTube, it nukes the algorithmic approachability of it if you post it directly from Twitch. You're better downloading that video and uploading it up. You get a 10x production on it if you were able to get any growth at all. So if you start getting growth, you end up doing that. Those are the type of stuff you need to know. And as for TikTok, uh, I stream on TikTok every now and again, but I find that is an incredibly laborious platform to stream on because you're not allowed to say certain words. You can't say Twitch, you can't say Kick, you can't say YouTube. That's the reason why if you ever hear streamers on them, they're saying the black one, the red one, the green one, because if you say the word, it nukes your algorithm and ends up putting you down. And because of my dry sense of humor, I get shadow banned on that anyway. So, it unfortunately I'm the wrong personality type specifically for that platform. So,
So TikTok does not appreciate sarcasm.
not Irish sarcasm, not the deep, dry kind of semi-offensive sarcasm, you know. As I have a tendency to turn around and say the word gobshite a lot, which is a word it just nukes, you know.
So help me out here, Craig. What does a typical day look like for you when you're streaming versus when you're not?
Mm, so currently for me, it's work, gym. If I'm streaming straight into the stream after the gym, and then bed. That's me for the situation. If I'm not streaming, then it's work, gym, potentially boxing or whatever other element I end up going down. And then I might end up getting a wee bit of gaming done on the whole lot. And then I spend 3 to 5 hours looking at my fucking ceiling because I can't sleep. But yeah, and then weekends are a complete and utter kettle of fish because you actually have free time. So I don't plan if a stream works for the weekend, I do the stream on the weekend, but it's one of those situations of I'm leaving them for me. I'm not putting a dedicated time in place there. Just know I'll be doing all of my go live notifications and stuff like that. Give you a fair idea if I'm going to be giving an idea of a stream that weekend because you'll know roughly your vibes of your weekend and what you're doing. But like I don't let it bother me and I just do what you can, that type of situation.
Absolutely. So, how did you end up choosing boxing as your kind of go to physical action? Because you're saying how like your other hobbies are watching anime, movies, being in front of your screen and stuff. It seems like a big jump to go from that to boxing.
Well, I've always been a fan of physical activities and elements such as that. Back in 2020, I was 24 stone, so I was a heavy motherfucker. Um, and I've always had an insane amount of strength within me and the whole lot. So I was doing jujitsu for a while there and ended up hurting up my hand. And I could go back into the jujitsu, but I wanted something that would get me the most amount of cardio control. So I picked the thing that will always have you gassed out, always breathing, and you're always using your breath work that type of way there. And I had a nasal reconstruction surgery done in the last 3 years, so I have issues with breathing and the whole lot. So boxing is a way to force me to have to do heavy breathing and go down that type of way. And there's more emphasis on actually ensuring that your breathing is correct. One through two, breathe, and the whole elements are coming around to it. Gets you more footwork, and like ideally for me, it would be wrestling, but my side of the country there isn't any WWE style wrestling over here. I'd have to go up to the other side of the country, and I ain't traveling 3 hours to do that. So um, it's just the one that fits.
So what I'm hearing is you're going to be starting your portion of wrestling on your part of the island.
I'd love if it was possible. Ireland has an athletic commission, and the athletic commission are a bunch of absolute dicks. They would we here where I'm from, we had done a charity event, where we raised 10,000 quid for the PETA Association of Ireland. And we had done the event and the whole lot, and the athletic commission turned around and says, "Yeah, you're not allowed to do that. The next time, if you set this up again, you have to pay us 10,000 quid in insurance. So you ain't setting up that type of thing in Ireland, unfortunately. They're
Oh Lord.
annoyingly pedantic when it comes down to setting up those type of things. I'd love to, you know, even if it was as garage could be, I'd love to get into actual wrestling, but you have to go up to the actual Fight Night Factory Pro in Dublin, and I hate doing that. Well, I might do one weekend of it, but I'm not doing that consistently because I'm not in Dublin. If I was in Dublin, I'd be there every weekend. But yeah, that's a different kettle of fish.
Man. In the immortal words of Cracked, it sounds like a bunch of
Yes,
gobshites.
yeah, yeah. Sounds like diarrhea of the mouth and
Oh,
constipation of the brain.
back at it again. But so, how do you unwind then after a stream besides insomnia?
Depends on the day. I mean, you know, I'd never end up doing anything that's in any ways bad for yourself. I'd never end up having a bad situation or looking at the wrong end of a particular element or anything of that description. But you can enjoy your crack and see how she ends up coming. Genuinely, for me, it's going for a walk. Actually, funnily enough, it's just getting out of the house, getting a bit of fresh air. I joke about that. I actually don't bother. A drink every now and again is sound, but like at the end of the day, since I started driving, I don't actually bother my arse to do it that much. But get out of the house and just do a bit of a walk. And if it's too late, then I go down to bed. Although, as we said, I'm an insomniac, so it just means I'm looking 5 hours in the goddamn ear. So I go on streams and start talking to other streamers, which is horrible for trying to get sleep.
Yeah, that doesn't exactly help the sleep
Mm.
aspect. So, it sounds like if you have any pressure, any burnout and stuff, you just go on a walk.
Oh yeah, like it genuinely is one of the best ways to end up doing it. I am of the opinion that physical exercise will solve an awful lot of the ailments that come down on people anyway, because the endorphins it ends up releasing in the whole lot are incredible for you. I am of the opinion that every single person who can should do 10,000 steps a day. I genuinely think there'd be insanely less aggression, insanely less issues happening around the world if people stayed by that principle. I think it gets rid of an insane amount of the anxiety that people end up having because you're just feeling fresh, you're feeling grand, and the whole lot. I'm genuinely of that opinion.
So, physical is very much tied to mental for you.
Mm, yeah, it's one of the reasons why I've added new channel points into the stream. You have to be careful about this type of stuff as well because obviously you don't want to completely destroy your stream. If it got big, I'd remove them. But like I have a 10 squats reversing from camera to give people an incredible view of Mount Vesuvius. But I also, if I ended up getting X amount of bits or X amount of subs, which is just the thing over in the corner, and I never mention it because I don't want to be fishing for subs or bits. But if you do it, you do it. If you give it to me, I do I do 5 push-ups. You know, it's just an improvement for me and a showcase of you're not just giving me something to placate the no ads or obviously you want the stream to go well, but it adds an extra health modifier to it, so it makes you, in theory, should make the person paying for it feel a wee bit better and all that element as well. So I've added that in as just a personal element for me.
That's just something fun for you to do on stream as well.
Yeah.
Now, is there a game you would never stream?
Nope. Nope. Nope, not a bit of it. If I could get away with it, and I joked about it in Joshua's chat, genuinely speaking, there isn't a single goddamn game I wouldn't play because I have the personality that would mean that I would end up doing it. Like I, if you were allowed to do it, would go for a game. And if you're under the age of 18, which you shouldn't be in this chat if you are, but never mind that. Considering you say that yours is 18 plus, don't you?
Mine's 18
Yes.
plus, yes.
If you're under the age of 18, don't search this up. But I'd even play Fetish Love.
Lord. So, out of all the interactions you have had, what has been the most rewarding interaction you've had with a viewer? I can see the
Depends
clock
on what
starting
you
again.
categorize as rewarding, because I've had a couple of situations where people have come in and it's very hard with text to know how someone is feeling. But I've had a couple of situations where people have come in and you can tell something's up with them. And I'm quite an inquisitive person like that. I'm quite empathetic in elements such as that, where I've kind of siphoned out of them what's wrong with them, and we've been able to give a wee bit of support. You know, I joke about it, the same glasses there, where we bring out, wear this jacket, wear these glasses, put on a fucking vest on, and I become Dr. Crack because I don't mind talking about your bullshit if it'll help you with your bullshit, within reason. So I've had a
Yeah,
couple of situations of that, and then just genuine good times. In general, honestly, any chat is rewarding to me. I know that's the most hokey bullshit answer you could end up giving, but every single chat is rewarding to me because I treat all of them with the same reverence, no matter what ends up happening.
absolutely. Same question, but for streamers. Has there been a particular streamer that you've been like, holy shit, I was not expecting this, or it changed your viewpoint as a streamer yourself?
Not really. Because as I say, I'm me. I don't change my personality for anyone, so I interact with everyone exactly the same way. I mean, I suppose Josh Peach doing that raid and then actually having the wherewithal to stay for an hour and enjoy the crack a bit on the second day and end up going down that way. But like I've had wonderful interactions with the likes of yourself, Aura, Walt, bloody Die Hard and the whole lot. Like everyone has been so wonderfully kind that I try to treat them like friend as I would anyone else. So there hasn't been anything specifically special that has made me feel or changed my viewpoint on streaming or streamers. And thankfully, I haven't had any bad interactions with anyone. I'm
Thank
I'm of
goodness.
the viewpoint you just treat everyone as you'd want to be treated yourself, and then think about that again because you would treat yourself like shite. So just treat yourself like you would treat everyone else. So treat everyone like you would treat yourself, and then treat yourself like you treat everyone else.
Versa and vice.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask this, Crack, just before we go ahead and kind of wrap this
hmm
up. But if you could give one piece of advice to those who are new to streaming, thinking about streaming, already streaming, what would you tell them?
I give you a quote from every Adam Sandler movie that has ever happened. Just do it and do it all night long.
Oh, that is glorious. So remember, guys, just do it. Crack, where else can we find you besides here on Twitch?
So I'm CraicAttack Central on YouTube. I'm CraicAttack Central on TikTok. I'm CraicAttack Central on Kick. Because Twitter are a bunch of pansies, I'm only CraicAttack on Twitter, but I'm CraicAttack on Twitter and CraicAttack on Blue Sky. So you can find me on all of those platforms there, and I'm on Discord as well. Under CraicAttack Central or CraicAttack, depending on the server. For some reason, some of them have lowered it down, and I have no idea why. But you can find me in all of those situations there. So just come through anytime you want to, and I don't bite unless you want me to.
There you go. Chat, I am looking back over here. Just want to open this up to you guys for any questions here. I will obviously be moderating, but if you have any questions, Chaos, what did you take away from Crack? And is there anything he said that you might start doing in your streams now? I kind of liked the Adam Sandler impression. I might have to start working on that. No. So the biggest thing that I really liked from Crack's stream here, his interview, was I really enjoyed how Crack you were talking about how you don't give a fuck about the numbers.
Yeah,
Because I absolutely have it where, like, if I get a big raid from, like, Walt, or if I get a big raid from, like, Lamb or something, I feel like, oh shit, I gotta turn up this charm immediately. And I feel like you're Crack no matter
yeah.
what.
I think when no matter what raid ends up coming into you, treat every raid with the exact same. Treat every raid and every chat with the exact same reverence that it ends up coming down with. I have a tendency with raids to be a wee bit too. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and that type of shite. Especially if they piss off and they don't end up giving the actual message because you don't know whether or not they've actually heard you say thanks. So I might have a tendency to do it a wee bit longer than you should. But at the same point in time, treat everyone with the same amount of reverence and just be yourself. There's no point tanking it up to 11. People will love you no matter what ends up happening. And I suppose the one bit of advice I would end up giving you, Chaos, as opposed to what I have done in the stream for Arena's question, is maybe like me, you can unbutton another button.
I was actually debating about that. I was looking on here being like, shit, maybe I need to go off and show the chest a little more. Rena would like to know what's something that you've learned about yourself since streaming, by the way, since you started streaming.
Yeah, so one of the weird things that I end up doing that an awful lot of people mightn't end up doing is because I stream on the 4 different platforms, is I have the headphones in at all times, so I'm listening to my voice. God, I have an annoying voice. But nah, in general, thankfully, throughout all of my life, I've come to terms with myself and who I am well before I started streaming. So I'm luckily already quite aware of who I am. And then, yeah, I'm doing subtle improvements and improving the way that I am, but thankfully I know me and I'm happy with me. And you have to be happy with you because at the end of the day, the only person that matters is you. You're your biggest critic, and you have to tell yourself to shut the fuck up every once in a while.
So you have those negative thoughts in your head too. Those do exist for you.
Why do you think I have my best friend with me?
Mostly because I think the reason why I have my best friend with me for shits and giggles.
Well, cheers.
Cheers, brother. Oh man.
But yeah, no, in general, everyone has that. Everyone has that annoying voice in the back of their head. You just have to tell it to shut the fuck up. But also listen to it because oftentimes that voice is important. It's telling you what's coming around for a reason. You're not hearing it.
Absolutely.
You're not hearing it because you're just being an ass to yourself. You're hearing it because you genuinely have something to say about the situation. So for the most part, just be cognizant of there's a difference between criticism and coaching. Make sure whatever it says is coaching and not criticism.
It's absolute. So, well, I got to ask now. What's the difference between coaching and criticism?
Chaos, where both of us are playing in a basketball game now in the next wee bit of time. You're just not up to snuff at the moment there. You need to come with me now. The two of us are going to do a wee bit more working out on your actual ability there. You know, you're so big that that suit makes you look like a fucking walrus. That's the difference.
All right, all right.
That's the difference.
So you
One
look for something
one
that has a
one is a slight negative put into a potential positive route. The other one is just complete and utter putting you down.
so one is kind of an observation, which says this is where we can pivot to address it.
Mhm.
The other one is very much a go fuck yourself, chaos.
Yeah. There's an infamous I tried to quote it and I don't have it. There's an infamous clip of Shaq being asked that exact same question, and his answer is the best thing I've ever seen in relation to it, which is something very similar to what I had just said to you there. But you should, if you can, search up Shaq's answer to that question.
Okay. I'll tell you what we'll do is before we end the stream today, we will pull it up. In fact, here, I'm going to go ahead and grab that right now. But before we do anything else, guys, are there any more questions for Crack or myself? You're just going to pull up the Shack
Ooh, yeah,
Attack
the
here.
other thing too for anyone that's getting into streaming, do consistent backups of your goddamn OBS. Trust me, or whatever platform you end up using for your streaming, you're gonna need the goddamn thing in case anything goes wrong on your computer.
Back up everything, guys. Back up everything. So what was that? Was Shaq coaching versus
Criticism. I'll see if I can find the
criticism?
clip myself because it might actually be named that, but it is a brilliant clip. So I'll look for it and I'll send it on to you anyway before the end of your stream.
Okay, we'll look for that here then, guys. But Crack, I'd like to go ahead and thank you for coming and doing this interview. And we're going to give Crack a one last shout out here. If you guys are not currently following Crack Attack Central, fix that shit. He is killing it and always having a damn good time. As you guys can tell from here, absolutely hilarious. And yes, you were correct, Rena. But any last parting words here before we go ahead and end this portion of the stream? Crack?
All right, what was that?
I was gonna say, any last parting words before we go and end this portion of the stream, Crack?
Make sure your crack is 90. Schlongeful. And as always, to those of you that know, you know, Pog Mahone.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Crack Attack Central. Crack, thank you again, my friend. Kick back, relax, and we are just gonna chat a little bit more.
I actually got the wrong NBA situation too, but I have the clip sent on to you there. You just have to zoom in a little bit to
Perfect.
it. So
We
just go
will
30
go ahead
seconds into that.
and do
But yeah.
so.
Anyway, no bother, big man. Thank you so much for the chats.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Ciao.
Adios, everyone.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was our interview with Crack Attack Central. Absolutely amazing streamer, just hilarious. If you have not checked him out yet, you absolutely need to. Just amazing. But we are going to do this. Crack recommended that we check out this video before we go ahead and end our stream for the day. So we're going to go ahead and do that here, and then we are going to go and take a look at
criticism. Coaching
on out.
is
Let's check this out.
to develop me to be better. Criticism is just to hurt my feelings. Wait, really? Coaching is to develop me to be better. So if I might say, Charles, you're out of shape and you need to get better, that's coaching because I'm saying it because I want you to get better. But if I'm just looking at you and go, well, that's an ugly suit and you're a fat butt. That's criticism. See, you felt the difference. Yeah. You felt the.
Okay, guys. So again, it's that positive attitude that absolutely goes ahead and does that. But I want to thank everyone for coming on in here today. We will be streaming again here tonight. But before we go and end this, I want to bring this up. Hello, by the way, Monster Kate. Kate, you came in at just the end of it. I am so sorry, hon. We were just talking about this. But I feel like this was an absolutely awesome interview, guys. If you have not had the chance yet to go and check out Crack, he just dropped himself here inside chat as well. So you guys can follow him there. And it was my pleasure, Crack. No worries, Kate. I definitely recommend watching it. I feel like this was just an absolute fun one. And just a fun one in general for us to go off of. That said, let me give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek on what we're going to be doing next week. Next week, we are going to be interviewing Risen Nephilim. And I'm not going to deny, guys, I am very excited for this one. Risen has had a hell of a journey. He has gone through so much. And I'm obviously not going to go ahead and cheat it by telling you about it. But to say that Risen has had a tough time and has risen above it is just such a small nature of what he has done. He is also going to be our first partner who is appearing on the show. So that's going to be on June 1st. It's going to be a late night one at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we're still working on all the advertisements and such, but definitely go ahead and give him a follow if you're not already. And yes, I am very much looking forward to it, guys, because like I said, Risen has gone through so much. And he's going to be able to talk about it a lot more than I will. He may not even talk about it, but just know this. I am so goddamn impressed with everything that he has done. Because I don't know if I would have had the courage to bounce back. Yeah, it should be a great attack at Crack. Now let's just take a quick look here, guys. I was going to raid Savage Lamb, but it looks like she has gone offline. So what we might just do is Tara Shark is currently online, and I don't think we have raided her yet. So we are going to go and raid Tara Shark. And guys, again, I just want to thank you all so much for being here. I know you guys had a ton of places to go check out and such. Hi, Nate. Welcome on in, bud. Oh my goodness, coming in at the end. But yes, we will be on later tonight doing some Dead by Daylight, guys. And folks, do me a favor, kick back, relax, enjoy, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace, everybody.